Hi, this is my last video on this channel for 2019. It's been an interesting year, and I hope that by ending it with 2 movie reviews in the same video, that it's going to get the new year off well. But I want to mention that I'm going to try as much as I can not to have any spoilers. That's the best I can do. I can hope that there's none. Because there's going to be some things I'm going to mention that you probably don't know about. Truthfully, if you decide you just want to go on Wikipedia, you can read and find out every single thing that happens in both movies. That's on you. I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to let you know up front that I really enjoyed both movies. And it was hard because I knew nothing about Frozen 2 until a few days before when I was at the grocery store and I saw these kids' books out about Frozen 2. And I picked one up and I was looking through and I said, oh my God, they basically told the entire movie in here without remembering that I was actually seeing it a few days after it came out. So I don't know how long those books had been there, but luckily I didn't, read anything of depth, so I had no idea what was going to happen. Rise of Skywalker was tough to deal with because it was almost a week before I got to see it, and I didn't read any reviews, but the reviews were all out there, and a lot of them had negative titles. Some were positive, but they had negative titles. I'm like, why are they ruining this? And I know why, because people aren't getting what they want these days after all the years it's been out there, and people are just ready to hate. Well, let me tell you, I like both movies, and I'm going to tell you why. So here we go. So the first thing I'm going to talk about, obviously, is Frozen 2. And Frozen 2 is a more adult movie than the first one. It just is. You got the same characters. We got Anna and Elsa, Kristoff, Sven, and Olaf. They're the main characters, just like last time. Even Olaf isn't as cuddly as he was in the first movie. It's a lot darker. The basic premise here is that there's an uprising of the land. The land. They're getting bombarded with some magic that's happening in the town, and they have to leave and go up into the mountains, where Elsa and Anna find the trolls, and the trolls tell them, hey, look, there's this mess that y'all got to go and try to resolve that happened a long time ago, and this is your destiny. Y'all got to go out there and do that. So they go into this other land along with, their buddies, and they have to get through this fog, this dense fog, but they do, and they end up in a totally new land that they never knew existed, and there's people from Arendelle as well as this new group of people who have kind of been at odds with each other over, at least 20 years. And so Elsa has to go through a lot of adventures. If you saw the previews, you know that there's like the water horse that's there and certain other things that happen in the background. She goes through a lot. My goodness. And it's just all really adult. You find Anna, who basically, she's still, the same as she was before in some ways, but in other ways, she finds that she has to take charge and that she has to become the leader. And Kristoff, you know what? Kristoff gets his own song this time. He didn't get a song in the last movie, but he gets a song this time. And Olaf has a song. Like I said, Olaf isn't as cuddly as he was in the last movie. And of course, Sven's just basically there for comic relief. I think one of the coolest things, and I'm not giving anything away, like I said, if you saw the previews, you saw this happen, where there's like the stampede of tons of reindeer. That was cool. Matter of fact, I thought that everything in this movie was cool. Seeing how they did the water, it's amazing what they can do now with computer generation. The water was cool. The fire was cool. There's, you know what, I'm going to give this away, but if you saw the preview, you kind of saw it in the background. There's these giant rock monsters, and they're cool. Everything is cool in this movie. Like I said, it's adult. I think the songs actually, as a composite, are better than they were in the original Frozen. Nothing's going to stand out as much as Let It Go. It just ain't going to happen, folks. You can't beat that. But I thought overall that the songs were actually better. Probably because they're more adult. Like I said, even Olaf's song is not really like a laugh-a-lot kind of song. But I love this movie. I thought it was beautifully done. All the scenery is beautiful. And the resolution, if you haven't read anything about it, if you haven't seen it, it's going to throw you off. Because like I said, it's more adult. It's darker. It's scarier. Actually, the first movie wasn't even scary at all, so I don't think that you can say scarier. But I think that really this was depth that I really didn't expect. I didn't think that they would go this kind of route. Disney usually doesn't do that unless it's Marvel movies. I applaud them for this movie. I thought it was fantastic. Now let's talk about The Rise of Skywalker. I love this movie. Yes, I did. You know what? I'm 60. When I saw the first Star Wars back in 1978, it had been at my theater for 8 weeks at the time, and I didn't want to go because I'm a Star Trek guy. But a friend of mine said he'd pay for the popcorn and pay for the soda, and I went, and I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed every movie. I had problems with Episode 1. I had to tell you the truth. Even though I enjoyed most of the movie, I did have some problems with Episode 1. I had trouble with Hayden Christensen, his character. I just thought he was so wooden in both of those movies. But yet, the third movie had one of the coolest battle scenes when they were battling on lava. And I said, wow, that's one of the best scenes out of all of these movies. Not counting the Episode 2, where you got Yoda fighting some dude. I said, okay, that was cool too. But this was just massively great. So I was expecting spectacle. I thought it would just be kind of a beautiful movie. I knew that we would still see the same characters we're used to. We're going to see Rey and Finn and Poe and Leia. And because Carrie Fisher had passed away, I was wondering if they would just have a little bit of her in this movie. But you know what? They got a lot more of her in this movie than I really expected. And I think that the way that they resolved how she eventually passes away in the movie really did a nice tribute for her passing away in real life. I just think it did. Obviously, you had Ben, who, he came back, Kylo Ren. His real name is Ben. And just the chemistry between him and Rey and Adam Driver and Daisy Ridley. You know what? Those two need to be in some other movies together. I think that if you put them, it's going to sound stupid, but if you put them in a Men in Black movie, we'd go see that. They just had wonderful chemistry. And the battle scenes that they had were phenomenal. And there were some tricks that they did in this that, like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. And it's just great stuff. It really is. You visit a lot of planets. You got Palpatine back, not giving anything away. Everybody knew Palpatine was going to be back, but I sat there thinking, wait, how are they going to bring him back? And then I said, oh, that's right. Wait, you know what? We can do that these days. We can bring anybody back. And Palpatine was an evil blankety blank. And now, like I said, I'm not giving away any spoilers. Just not going to happen for me. What I'm going to say is that this was a fun movie. I know that, like I said, there's people who just beat this thing up because they didn't get what they wanted. It's 2.5 hours long. What do you want? A 5-hour movie? You're just not going to get everything you want. I got everything I wanted. I got different things resolved that I wanted. There were a whole lot of cameos in this movie. A couple of them really threw me off. I just like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. I didn't expect that. I knew Lando Calrissian was going to be back because I'd seen him in a preview. Obviously, we got Chewbacca, who plays an interesting role in this movie. C-3PO plays an interesting role in this movie. It was just really a good movie. You had some vocal cameos. Some folks I knew. There's a couple I wasn't sure who it was supposed to be. But they gave us everything that we wanted. At least they gave me everything I wanted. And I went with some other folks. We all loved it. We thought it was great. And you know what? For all the people who hated this movie and said that they think the majority of people hated it, the people in the theater applauded at the end of the movie. Now, maybe that just makes us all plebeians when it comes to reviewing movies and what we like, but we applauded. It's like, yes, we got everything we wanted. The day this movie comes out, I will be buying it. I will be buying Frozen 2, and I'm not going to have any shame in having either one of them, and I'm going to watch them both. Of course, I like Last Jedi, and I can't even remember the name of the first movie in this particular trilogy right now. But I just have enjoyed every single one of these movies. And let's face the facts here. My God. You know what? I can't remember the names of the movies right now. My mind. I'm 60. I forget things. But the final movie of the first trilogy that we all saw, 4, 5, and 6, let's face the facts here. As good as it was, it had some weak moments too. I'm not an Ewoks fan. Some of that stuff really, got on my nerve. But they used it and it came back. So, there you have it. The early movies weren't perfect. There were different things in some of those movies that just, they weren't all perfect, but they were fun. I think that's the way we have to go into most of these movies, and saying that what we're seeing is fun, at least if it's something that we're expecting. That's my thing. Do we expect perfection? I don't. I enjoy most of the movies. If there's something I really don't like, Skyline, if there's something I really don't like, I'll tell you why I don't like it. But otherwise, I had an enjoyable quarter with those two movies. That's it. That's all I got. You can ask me some questions. You can let me know your opinion. I've seen some other reviews on both of these movies, and Frozen, the reviews weren't bad from some people. Skywalker, however, I've seen so far that anyone who has said they like this movie, there's been a lot of people who have been giving it thumbs down regardless. Hey, you know what? You got to put yourself out there. I thought they were both fun. They were both fine. They were both wonderful. That's my take. Anyway, my name is Mitch Mitchell. Like I said, I hope that you're ready for what comes in January. And if you like this kind of thing, please give me that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. I've got goals for 2020, and getting more subscribers would be a wonderful thing. And if you want notifications, click that bell. I don't remember to say that all the time, so I'm saying it now. Y'all take care and have a wonderful new year.